SysloSpice digital recipes for dominance. SysloSpice. Recipes for digital dominance. Hello everybody, we're gonna dive right in. All right, here's what's going on. So we got a little bit of SysloSpice coming at you. We're gonna do free weekly trainings on everything relating to marketing, digital media, video production, video editing, website design, graphic design, social media design, how to generate more leads, growing a digital brand, brand transformation, brand strategies. They're all gonna be free live trainings that you're gonna get an accessible link to. We're gonna do it every Wednesday at 7 p.m. My goal is to really educate you, give you some spice, throw some heat on it, build it all together so that you have everything you need for free to check out and improve your brand, your marketing efforts on social media right now, especially right now with everything that's required to bring your brand, your business, whatever it may be, into the digital era. So I hope to see you there. Sign up, let's get you on. I look forward to seeing you there. SysloSpice, recipes for digital dominance. I'll see you there. All right, we'll get started. Okay, guys, thanks so much for hopping on. It's been about a month or so since we last did SysloSpice. I was traveling and I didn't have any of my camera gear or set up or anything like that. So if you're new here, thank you for coming. Yes, Daniel, we're back. So we'll go back on our normal weekly schedule as per usual. So this is SysloSpice. My name is Robert Syslo. If you haven't been here before, I run a creative marketing and advertising agency out of Miami. And every week, every Friday, I do a live stream, little private show. I am going live on Instagram as well, just to kind of get the word out there because it's been like a month since I was doing this. But anyway, what we're going to talk about this week is something that I've seen some pretty big entrepreneurs and business owners that, have really established brands say some things that are really just not true. So my whole topic today is just going to dive into that, like the true purpose of a brand. We're going to dispel a lot of things that are what I call quote unquote BS and lies, and all of that good stuff. But I'll tell you, if you guys need help with anything, marketing, advertising, web design, video production, we shoot reality shows now. You can go ahead, just reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to give you a hand at that. Robert@sysloventures.com, or you can go to sysloventures.com. So we'll dive right into what we're going to talk about today. So I'll tell you why I'm doing this. I saw a post, and if you guys follow me on Instagram or if you check out anything that I have on any other social media platform, I kind of made fun of it, but it's the truth because it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. So let's talk. So that post broke into something that I thought was odd. And here's a person that had a brand. They had a really established brand. And I know that they have because they've been doing it for many years. And they've been building it out with their company, with themselves, to attract more clients, to attract more business. And what they ended up saying was that I wasted money building a brand. You should not invest in building a brand. It was a waste of time, energy, money. My business went down the drain, and all I focused on was the brand building and all that stuff. And here's something, very reputable brand, something that was, they've had position in the marketplace, and then they turned around and they said this. It's actually not the first person that has said that. Even people on a bigger scale have said that. And what I thought was weird was that they used that brand that they created to make a statement about how branding was completely a waste of time. It was a waste of energy. It was a waste of all these different things. And I sat there and I said, boy, this is just totally wrong. Okay, this information is just totally wrong. It's incorrect, right? Because they're using something that they established already to be able to have the voice and the power to be able to say what they're saying. So my whole thing is on that, basically, that we're going to be discussing, because a lot of people kind of go back and forth about, well, should I invest money into building a brand? Should I invest money into advertising? Should I invest money into doing everything the right way and all of that stuff? And hopefully by the end of today's talk, I will have dispelled a lot of that stuff for you because in all the years that I have been doing any type of production or any type of marketing, which is 18 years now, it always came back to that. It always came back to a brand. It came back to that built up power and position that exists in the marketplace. And I've helped grow some really large brands, and we still continue to do that to this day. So I want to go over a few things. Number one, the first thing this person said, and I've heard people say, is that branding is a waste of money. And it depends on what your viewpoint is on how important you want to be in the marketplace, if that's a waste of money or not. Because if you look at the whole picture, if you look at the whole scale of a picture, if you could establish yourself as a reputable source, if you could establish yourself as someone who is worthy of trust, as someone that has a product or whatever that is, could be real estate, could be investing, it could be e-commerce, it could be automotive, it could be any of those things. And you want to sell more, but you also have a good product and service that you think people should buy. Is branding truly a waste of cash? And if you're asking yourself that question as a business owner or someone that is trying to expand and scale their company, obviously you don't understand the power that lies behind it, because it is not a waste in any sense of the word. And working with all the types of companies that I have worked with and continue to work with today, we only see benefits out of that. We only see more expansion. We only see more ability to recruit better salespeople. We've worked with insurance agencies that have benefited greatly from scaling up a brand to expand their internal offices by creating a culture around them that people want to be a part of. And so while sometimes, yes, could you directly attribute and track an immediate ROI to investing whatever that money is to developing a brand? I can't say that you can, but I can say sustainably over time you can. And I think people know that it's the right thing to do. And you should, as a business owner, think to yourself, well, this is probably the correct thing to do. But you have to kind of get out of the mechanical sense of I'm wasting money, because when you're coming at it from that viewpoint, you're way too mechanical and you've missed the overreaching point of a brand. So this idea that branding is a waste of money, let's just throw that out right now, because it's not. What we're talking about here is how big do you really want to play, and what do you really want to do with yourself, right? And your business. Like, what are you really wanting to do? Okay, are you in it only for the money, or are you also in it to actually make a change? Do you want to be a philanthropist? Do you want to be able to donate? Do you want to be able to give back to other organizations and things like that? I mean, those are the questions that you have to ask yourself. So if you think branding is a waste of money, then you probably shouldn't be in business, because the best brands on earth are the ones that win. All the clients that we've worked with, the ones that have actually been the most successful are the ones that have spent money already on a brand in some shape or form. And when we have to start from zero, which we do often, it just takes a little bit of time, but we get it going. Right? So the establishment of a brand is not a waste of money. It's an investment into the survival of the future of your company. It's the investment into your name, right? Maybe it's yourself that you're branding. Maybe it's the business that you're branding, however you want to do that. But you got to look at it from the standpoint of, where am I going to take this? And can I sustain it? Is it sustainable? And do I believe in it enough to actually spend money on that? And a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't want to do it. I don't want, branding's a waste of money. Well, basically what you're saying is you're not worth it and your business isn't worth it and you don't have anything good to offer, because those are the only people that wouldn't want a brand, right? The guys that are afraid, the guys that are shy, the guys that are not interested in actually producing something of value in the marketplace. They wouldn't invest into a brand. So they make their own justifications, they make their own excuses, or they tried and they realized how difficult it was to actually sustain that. And they didn't have the power or the energy to be able to do it. It's like a fitness plan, right? Like I hired a surf coach and I hired a fitness coach. Okay. I knew the moment I was doing this, that this was going to be absolutely tough. It was going to be excruciating. I was going to have to make some sacrifices. I was going to have to make some changes, but I knew what I was going for, right? Like my goal now is to surf competitively, right? Because I've surfed and I've been good at it and it's great. But then I just said, why am I not taking this more seriously? What do I need to do to take that more seriously? I got to get my nutrition right, and I got to get my fitness right, and I got to know all the ins and outs of surfing. Same thing with marketing. I did the same thing. It was like, okay, I need to know all the ins and outs of this so that I could be more effective for the people that we actually service. So when I hear someone say branding is a waste of money, what they're actually saying is, I don't really value myself enough to invest in my own name. I don't really value myself enough to invest into my own company, right? Which when you think about it, does that really make sense? Absolutely not. It makes zero sense that would even be a thing, right? But the guys that have, it's like the guys that make millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they turn around and they say money doesn't really matter. Well, it mattered all the way up the ascension point to achieve that level. But when you reach that level, you kind of turn around and you're like, well, it's not everything. And it's true, but you needed that money to be able to expand. Branding is the same thing. So when I see big scale entrepreneurs say stupidity, like don't invest into a brand, it's asinine. I don't even know what that is. It's false information that is meant to destroy and disrupt and prevent others from actually attempting to build something at scale, right? So every person we work with or I bring on, we are looking to brand and expand them at scale. Okay. So if you have an entrepreneur that you're following and they turn around and they say something like that, I would start to question that person big time. Like, what's the intention of that? Why would you even say that? What is that about? Like, you're saying you're helping people, but you're saying something that's destructive. That doesn't quite make a lot of sense at all, right? It's counterintuitive. It's counter logic. It doesn't equate to, the main message of help, which is what I think this person or these people try to say. So is branding a waste of money? And going back to what I said, they're using their brand to actually say that. Otherwise, they wouldn't say it, right? Once you've built it to a point where you have some power and you have some influence, people are going to listen to you. People are going to take your word. You become an opinion leader in the audience's eyes. But you invested all that time and energy into doing it, right? So is it a waste of money? I mean, I'll let you be the judge of that. I don't find it to be a waste of money at all, right? I've seen companies grow 10 times, 12 times, 15 times because they put the time and the effort and the energy into doing that. So I don't believe branding is a waste of money. And that's not because I'm in the industry. It's because I've been working on my brand since 2017, every single day, when I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to spend it all, because I knew the value of it. I knew what mattered was the influence. I wanted the influence. I wanted to be able to build trust, right? I wanted to be able to become an authority with some altitude in my area that I work on, right? So branding to me is not a waste of money. And the guys that say, hey, don't invest any money into your brand. It's not worth it. Do your phone calls, do all that stuff. Look, I get it. I'm a salesperson as well. Okay. Today I did 190 phone calls. Yesterday I did 315. The day before I did 325. Right. So I get it, but I still build the brand because it's that vital. All of these things combined together establish more power, more expansion, more money. I love the guys. I was doing calls, oh man, maybe like a year ago. And I had a guy who I was speaking to, realtor here in Miami. And he said, I don't want to talk to leads. I don't want leads to come to me. I don't want to talk to leads. And I was like, what does that even mean? You don't want to, how do you sell? How do you make money? How do you do this? Well, I don't want leads. And I said, what planet of entitlement do you live on where you think that that's all you need to do, where people just come to you? Now, do people just come? They do. Why? Because you built a brand. But this asinine, illogical thinking of like, I'm not going to invest in that. I don't need to invest in that. Good, because there is a guy in Miami who is a really guy is killing it in real estate sales. And what does he do? He brands, and he brands extremely well. Okay. Everything looks good. The investments look good. The properties look good. He looks good. He's putting his video content out there. He's putting his stuff out there, and he's winning. And all these other realtors are scrambling, trying to catch this guy. And all this guy's doing is what we talk about on these, there's 13 episodes. Just go back and watch all 13 of them that I've done. Well, this is number 13. So there's 12 hours of content, but that's what this guy did. Right. And if you were to go ask this, I think he's doing, his firm is killing it. I think he's got a staff of 60 people. But if you were to ask him, hey, how valuable is your brand to you? He would say it's worth everything. because he attracts the high clientele, he attracts new clientele, and he's got people trying to copy him. I got people trying to copy me all the time, and I laugh at it because I'm like, you'll never be me. And that's the truth. Nobody will ever be you if they try to copy you. Like people are like, well, this guy's copying me. I'm like, good. Who cares? Okay. That means that your brand is actually making some sort of an influence, right? Which is what the purpose of it is. We want influence. We want sales. We want growth. We want expansion. We want all those things to come together in a way that actually affects some sort of change, some sort of resolution, some sort of increase in income, expansion, and new business opportunities, right? Third lie BS thing that I've heard people talk about is that it's not a great investment and that the traceable ROI is not there. Okay. The traceable ROI is not there. Now, again, I opened our talk tonight about traceability and could you directly correlate ROI from a branding activity? And the truth of the matter is you kind of can, but you're not going to get hard numbers from it. The only place you're really going to get hard numbers is from the ads that you're actually running, right? That's where you can visibly track I'm spending X and I'm getting Y. But somewhere, somehow, the mechanical aspect of like, this is not a good investment. I love those people because those are the people that are not going to make it. And they need the most help out of everyone. The guys that are like, yeah, I can't quantifiably invest, make sense of spending money right now. And we're not going to do it because it's this. I'm like, goodbye. You just put your nail on the coffin, go buy a tombstone. You're dead. You just died in that moment. Right. And so for me, I love the guys who are like, we need to do this. We need to invest in this. My guy, Donovan, I flew out to him. We shot all this content and he texted me yesterday. I have the text somewhere. And he was just basically saying he went to CVS, local CVS by his place. And he said, dude, I see your stuff everywhere. He is in the construction industry. He runs a $40 million construction business. Okay. And he's got people in CVS in Raleigh being like, dude, I see you everywhere. What do those things have in common? Well, that's power, man. That's absolute power. You never know what that could turn into. It could turn into a business opportunity. It could turn into a deal, on some form. Right. But these guys and these gals that are like, I'm not going to invest in this. I can't make sense of this. I'm like, okay, good. Then give up right now. Just stop what you're doing. Completely stop, because that's what you're doing. You're stopping, right? You can't have any fear when it comes to building a brand. You can't have any fear of it failing. You just got to do it. I mean, people ask, what's the silver bullet? What's the magic thing? There is no magic thing. I've been doing it for years. There is no magic, wonderful thing that just unicorns and fairies come out of the sky. Freaking leprechauns drop pots of gold at your front door, and all of a sudden you can buy a Lamborghini. That's not how it works. Okay. So when you hear it's not a great investment, traceable ROI isn't there. Here's how we handle that. Okay. I'm doing a live stream. We're doing this. I get people on here, we communicate. What I value the most is reach with my brand. Who am I reaching? How many people am I reaching? How many people am I talking to today? How many people saw my content today? That's traceable. 3.5 million people a month see my content. That's almost 40 million people a year see my content, Robert Syslo's content. And the majority of the business that we get, we've had, 6-figure a month agency. The majority of business that we get is because of the content that I'm producing, is because of the stuff that I do, is because of my YouTube channel, is because of the hundreds of Instagram stories that I put out every week and the posts that I put out every week, right? So what is traceable to me? All I care about is my monthly income going up? I don't sit and say, I've spent X on my ads and my awareness campaigns, and then say, well, I don't have enough leads and I didn't convert that. I care about the final number at the end of the month. What's the number at the end of the month for me? Is that a high number? Is that a low number? Because I'll tell you what, if the month is down from the month prior, I know one thing, two things actually. I did not promote enough. I didn't promote enough. Okay. I didn't market enough. I didn't call enough. I didn't send enough emails. I didn't send enough text messages, right? That's my traceable ROI. Is my month going up month after month after month? Is it in a new range? Is it sustaining? My month goes like this. Like for the last 8 months, it's basically been like this, up, and then it went up, and then it went, and then it shot up in December, dropped a little bit, out promoted, started to turn back up, and then March, boom, right back up. So this month, all I'm doing is sustaining the brand. I'm sustaining the promotion at a high level. That's why I'm doing above 190 calls a day myself, right? Above 190. That's on top of running a company. That's on top of managing clients. That's on top of guiding brands. That's on top of checking in on ad campaigns and following up on what's going on, coming up with new product offers, thinking about what I'm going to say in my SysloSpice thing tonight for the next 30, 40 minutes. I'm doing it all because that's just what has to be done, right? So the fact that it's not a great investment or that a traceable ROI isn't there, I want to know what the end of the month number is. And if that number is up, then I'm happy. And I know that I did a great job branding, marketing, promoting, doing the distribution that I need to be doing and should be doing so that I can attract more opportunities. I can attract more expansive opportunities. Like we've got this cool thing that came in out of nowhere. And that's what happens. Stuff comes in out of nowhere, right? The numbers that I care about is the weekly stat and then the monthly income stat. That's all I care about. I don't care anything you want. Jason's asking me what watch. I have an Omega chronometer. There you go. You can see it right there. I only care about that stat, right? I care about how many people were reached. I care about what's going on, how much content went out. I want to know. And we track all of it, right? So let's see. So Monday, so like my stat for Monday was 324 calls. And then as far as social posts that particular day, it was 109 for Monday. Yesterday was about 315. I may have flipped those numbers around, and I did 104 social posts. Today I did 195, and I think I'm around 90 social posts for the day, right? So what am I looking at? And what do I quantify? Social posts, Instagram stories, tweets, whatever. It all counts to me. That's all I care about. Plus my ads, which are running, by the way. My ads are going, and we're making new content right now. Okay. So with my business, my company that I've been running for the last 2 years on my own, 7-figure agency, 9 people, that only happened because I realized that branding was a great investment. Okay. I took the leap of faith. I went out on my own. Everybody was like, you're stupid. That's dumb. Why would you do that? I said, I'll be fine because I know how to brand and I know how to promote and I know how to sell. Those 3 things make me a killer. And I know that I am. And I know that we do a great job and we deliver great service for our clients. Okay. Last slide before we get into some truths now and some stuff that you could think about is that branding doesn't work at all. I want to bring it back to this. Big scale entrepreneurs that say stupid things that don't make sense, that contradict their earlier things, I don't listen to. Okay. Because now I know they're only in it for something else. Right. And the whole post that I'm talking about right now and everything that we're discussing is because that's what I had observed. I had observed that there were certain individuals that had said that investing in a brand was a waste of time. And so far in the last 20, 30 minutes, 25 minutes that we've been talking, I think I've made a pretty logical case as to why it does work. Okay. Because for me, all I want is one person, okay, to come in and talk to me. And then we turn that into a deal, right? You turn that into a $30,000 opportunity, a $50,000 opportunity, a $100,000 opportunity, all because you stayed consistent and you said, I'm going to continue to brand and promote. The story I give is Twitter. I don't try at Twitter, but I promote on Twitter, and that landed me a $40,000 deal. I'm very happy for that. Why? Because I just said that I was going to take the extra initiative and really post. So the guys that say branding doesn't work or don't invest money into your brand or I'm going to give up, I'm not going to do this. I mean, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, man. They are not true, authentic individuals that are ethical, that are interested in actually being of service. They're interested in something else. And I can tell you it's not service. Okay. So far, just to do a little recap before we dive into the second half of this. We've talked about how people have said branding is a waste of money. We've gone into that. We've gone over it and said that it is truly not, that you shouldn't be investing money into your brand, that it's not a great investment, that has no trackable ROI, and that it doesn't work at all. I love those guys that say it's not a good investment, to say that it's not traceable, because they need the help the most, because they don't understand the big scale picture. The businesses that understand the big scale picture of where they're going, because I'll tell you, if you try to run ads without building a brand, it's going to be really tough. You could do it, but you're pushing a boulder uphill. Okay. What we do in my company is we do both at the same time. Okay. We build the brand and simultaneously run it. So we're doing a 1-2K out punch to build it. But you also have to understand the necessity of the sustainability that needs to go along with that. You can't just give up after 90 days. You can't just give up after 6 months. As I said, I've been doing it since 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's 5 years. Actually building other people's brand, 18 years, all across the country and the world. So I know something about what it is it takes to get it done, but you have to be willing to do it. All right. So now let's go into some truths. All right. I hope this is helpful, you guys that are hopping on here. We're going to get back into this. We're going to do this every week. SysloSpice is going to come back. I apologize that I was not there. I was away. I did not have my camera gear or setup or reliable internet, for that matter, to be able to sustain a stream. So I appreciate the guys that actually came back on tonight and are listening. It means the world to me. So let's talk about the power that is generated from a brand. So when I say power, I'm not talking about, to be an arrogant son of a you-know-what, or to be anything more than to be an opinion leader in the marketplace. That's all I really care about with a brand. A brand gives you that ability to have that specialty in your space, because there's a lot of competition in whatever space you're in. Okay. And a side note on that, another reason is just because there is so much competition, you should just be building a brand anyway, because somebody is going to do it and they're going to beat you in the marketplace, and you're going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs. But Robert, why am I not making money? Why is my business not going anywhere? Because you're lazy and you didn't want a brand. That's why, because somebody else had the balls to do it. Somebody else said, you know what, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. I'm going to promote, right? They generated their own power. And what branding does and what advertising does, coupled with branding, is generate power for you. You become a sought after resource, which means you become a sought after individual or group of which people want to exchange money with. And that is what we're really interested in, is would somebody want to exchange money with you? And the guys that get caught up in the perfecting of their brand and the perfection of this, and this has to be right, and film me from up top because I look fat. Okay, great. Whatever, man. Like, where are you on earth? You want to look at it from the standpoint of what's the sales opportunity here for my company? What's the top line going to happen? What's going to happen to that top line because I'm branding? What's going to happen to my recruitment opportunities because I built a brand? What's going to happen for my ability to stay in front of industry changes or stay in front in the marketplace because I invested so much into that, right? I'm worth it. Okay. My family is worth it. My team is worth it. Everything I do allows my team to survive, right? The more that I promote, the more my company survives. The more that I advertise, the more that my team survives. And the better my clients do as well, because they're affiliated with somebody who's not afraid to get in there and duke it out and do it every day. So you have to look at it from that standpoint. What kind of power do you want to generate for your business? What kind of situation are you really trying to go? Realtors, what do you want to be? Do you want to be like everybody else that just posts pictures of an open house? Or do you want to be something a little bit more special, like the guy I told you about, who's doing hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate transactions here in Miami just because he brands himself? I don't think he's a particularly good salesperson per se. I just think he's really good at marketing, right? There's that, we've heard it before, the product that gets promoted the most is the one that sells the best, even though it may not be the best product. It's the reason why, right? That's the reason why, because they just invest that time into that. Second thing you should think about, Sustainable communication and development for an audience to purchase from you on some form. Now, branding and advertising they get confused, they get intertwined, they get mixed up a lot. And brands will just kind of hard sell and the hard sell and the hard sell and the hard sell. And look, there's a time, there's a place for that. I love it. Hard selling, great. There's a time and a place for it. Branding per se is not necessarily a hard sell. It's more of a sale by proxy, if that makes sense. I just kind of made that up, but it sounded right in my mind, and hopefully you know what that meant. But branding is, to me, is a sale by proxy. I'm selling you as you listen. Okay, the more that you listen, the more I'm selling you. The more that you pay attention, the more you're being sold on me. The more that you listen to me, the more that you pay attention, the more that you want to be in my ecosystem, the more of an opportunity that I will get an opportunity to do business with you at some point. Okay, now I'm not going for greed. I'm not going for the sale. I want a sale today. I love sales. Okay, I want income today, but I also want sustainability, right? I want sustainability. I want momentum to be developed for myself, right? I want momentum to be developed for my business. I want momentum to be created because I did all the initiative on that front. I invested in my ads. I invested into my content. I invested into my distribution because I see the value of where this is going to take me 3 or 4 months from now, right? It's like you see guys that do sales and they kind of slink off for a little while, and you look at their call volume and the call volume is down. And you're like, well, you're losing your momentum. You're losing the energy. You're losing what brought you to that position of power in the first place. Marketing and branding and advertising is the same thing. You need to develop momentum. You should have started branding yesterday. And if you're on the fence about branding, you should have started branding 7 days ago. You should have started branding the first thought you said, man, I think we should do better. The moment you had that thought, you should have handled it already. It should have been handled. You're just prolonging. You're like giving yourself a slow death at your own hands by withholding yourself from distributing more of what your business could be, right? It just takes one opportunity. We work with wholesalers. One house could make a difference. We work with insurance agents. 3 or 4 policies can make a difference. Okay. We work with automotive dealerships. 1 or 2 cars could make a difference. It could change quickly. Dentists, 3 or 4 new patients could be quite substantial. Lord knows I had my own little dental experience over the last year, and that was not cheap. And they still want to do more work. My mouth is an investment, but you do it anyway. You got to think about your branding the same way. Sustainable communication and development of an audience for them to buy from you eventually. Supposedly to think about you, to say, yes, dude, I need to sell my house today. Let me call this guy. I need to talk to him now. Or, hey, I need a video. Let me talk to Rob. Or we need a website. Let me talk to Rob. Or I really am having a problem with my marketing agency that I've been working with. Let me talk to Rob. Maybe he can give me some insight. Go watch all my ads, my videos about why people hate advertising. I really go into it. I go into it because nobody talks about it. And an ad agency is not going to have the cojones to go out there and say, this is why you hate ads and this is why they fail. They're not. They're not going to say that because they want more business than anything else. See, but my purpose of my brand is a little bit more enlightenment based. So whether you decide, and this is the attitude that you have to have, is that whether you decide to do business with me or not, you'll remember that I at least gave you some information to make a more informed decision. That's what I'm really looking at, okay? And people remember that. They may not buy from you today, but they could buy from you 6 months from now because they stayed connected to you. They stayed connected to you. And that's what we're most interested in. I want that connection. I want them to be like, maybe not yet, but I could do it. Or I should do it and I will do it. Let me watch some content, right? I would be more inclined to do business with people that have more content than the guys that don't. Or like the guy's like, I don't want to talk to leads. Get out of here. What kind of nonsense are you smoking, man? Like, what planet is that? That's just weird, right? Oh, but he doesn't have any deals and he doesn't have any money. I wonder why. The reason why is because he's got this terrible attitude. I'm not going to invest in that. I'm above branding. Well, good for you. I'm glad that you're above branding because I'm going to go brand and beat you anyway, right? And that's how we do it. I attribute a lot of our agency's success because I did that, right? So sustainable communication, development of an audience to buy from you. Next thing, altitude generation and position strengthening in the marketplace. Now, I did a video on this talking about how everybody deserves altitude. And for the longest time, I was hoping that somebody would like attribute altitude to me. But then I realized I was the one who was responsible for generating that altitude with my brand, right? Because I have certain ways that I do things. I have ways that I go about things. And it's my responsibility to really communicate that out there. So I'm going to be responsible for my altitude position in the marketplace. And I can do that with my brand because I control my message. I control what I say, how I say it, when I want to say it, what I want to say it about. Like I said, this whole stream tonight is all about the fact that I saw entrepreneurs who have made it, that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, say that investing in their brand is stupid, while they were using their brand to make that statement. And it's like, you are crazy. Like I'm not going to say who crazy, but you are crazy to even have the audacity to say that misleading information out there in the marketplace. But you got to give it to them because they're using their altitude and position to be able to make a statement. Why? I don't know. But hey, if you want to add to insanity, you want to contribute to more insanity, by all means, be my guest. But that's not what I'm about. I want to make it really easy for people to understand something. I want to make it really easy for people to make a decision about something, to grasp advertising on a new level, to grasp branding on a new level. Like, that's all I'm really interested in at that point. I don't care about anything else. Okay. Because why? My intentions are pure. I don't have any other thing that I want to do. So I generate my own altitude and reinforce my position in the marketplace. Now let's take a step back and think about that. Let's say you're in industry Y and there's all these other companies that are there, and you say to yourself, well, maybe we should wait, or maybe we shouldn't do this. We got a lot of expenses right now. Another company's got the same exact problems as you, but they say, let's go for it. And they solve all their financial problems because they market, brand, and sell. They created the demand. They created their own demand because they did that, right? So that industry, yes, there's hundreds of people that might be doing the same thing, but the most branded are the ones that win. The most branded are the ones that make the money. The most branded are the ones that can say stupid things like, don't invest in a brand, or money doesn't matter. It's like, okay, whatever, dude. Money does matter. But you don't have to be attached to it. You don't have to, it's not it's not your thing. It's your means to an end. It's your means to build your position, right? So branding is the altitude generator for you, for your company, for your employees to want to be a part of it, for potential salespeople who want to come and work for you. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're really interested in. And that's really the truth that we have going on here that we're discussing right now, right? The purpose, next one, the purpose to generate more sales and recruit better employees. I cannot stress to you enough how my company has grown because of my brand, how companies have grown because of branding. Another guy we work with posts on LinkedIn all the time. We do all of his marketing, all of his distribution. He's trying to get, specific people to come and work with him. And there was this particular really high status, high powered CEO that would not take any calls, any emails, any business from anyone. And so I said, all right. So we started just promoting for this guy on LinkedIn. We started distributing for this guy on LinkedIn. And he calls me up 3 or 4 days, it was about a week after we had done this. And he said, this guy called me. He wanted to talk to me because of what I was doing. He wanted to know, oh, this guy must be doing something really good. And I'm not talking about going around and buying Lambos and doing all that nonsense and buying your flashy sunglasses and weirdness, but I'm just talking about, like, I was looking at this thing the other day, and it was like an NFT thing, and they were showing all the panelists, and I said, I would never give money to that person. I would never give money to that person. He looks just like somebody that would just take my money. I watched the documentary on Netflix, the crypto one, The Hunt for the Crypto King or whatever that was. And all the guys that got in trouble gave money to people that I would never give money from, but they branded themselves. They did do that really well. I'm not saying that's the right thing, but it's like, dude, where are you going with this? Okay. But if you're an ethical person and you're up, you're upstanding individual, upstanding business that actually delivers good products and services, you can generate more sales from that. And look, the business and the content doesn't have to be always about the business and the content of the business. The majority of the stuff that I put out there is mostly about my life, is mostly about me and my wife, is mostly about what I'm doing, or if I decide I want to go surfing, or interesting tidbits or conversations that I have observed that I said, okay, I'd like to comment on this. And that's where we make our money. And when you follow the strategy, when you follow the system, when our clients follow the system and let us do our work, they make the money that they're looking for. They make the goal that they're trying to accomplish a reality because it's happening. Because they're looking at it from the standpoint of, oh, I can use this platform to really affect change here. I can use this platform to really do something that makes sense. I'm not doing it because of anything else. And I can enhance my sales to really grow the income and revenue of my company. I brand because I want my company to grow. I brand because I want to help people. I brand because I really want to make a difference with the people that know me and see the evolution. So in 10 years from now, it's a totally different situation, right? It's like, wow, okay. This guy's really got his stuff together. You know what I mean? So the purpose is to generate more sales and recruit better employees. We put out ads for graphic designers and salespeople, and we recruit great people because of the brand that I've spent the time to actually develop and build, right? It all happened because the brand was there. It was magical. The ability to generate more leads and increase opportunities such as investment opportunities, attracting people to your mastermind. Like I said, I want more leads. I want more people to talk to me. Now, I don't have to hard sell that. I want to make that really clear. I don't have to hard sell on a brand to actually get people to listen to me. Okay, I just follow the steps of what I do. I communicate what I hear. I talk about the absurdities that I see in specific industries, and then I break it out from there, and then I continue to have that run, right? Because I'm generating more leads and I'm increasing opportunity. So based on what we're talking about, branding is not a waste of money. It serves a very valuable, increased purpose of survival, increased chance of survival for you, your employees, your company, everything that you have going on there. And you cannot get mechanical about it. You cannot get mechanical about the cost. You cannot get mechanical about, oh, I invested all this money. You're looking at the wrong number. You're looking at the wrong number. The guys that win are the ones that don't look at that number. Okay. Yeah, they have an awareness of what they're spending within reason for themselves that they feel comfortable with, but it's not the lifeline. It is the extension of all the successful things that they're doing. You can't just give up and be lazy and say, yeah, Rob, hey, just get me all the sales and get me all the leads, go. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to put a little bit of work into it. I could get you 90% of the way. You're going to have to do a little bit of 10% action here together with me. It's just how it goes. I can get you 90% of the way there with sales, by the way, with great leads, by the way, with better business opportunities, by the way, but you got to do the rest. You got to put in the time in there, just like I do. I close all the deals. I make all the calls. My team supports everything that I bring in, but I'm branding all the time. I'm always investing into the development of the brand. And I don't listen to these whack jobs that say that branding is not worth your time, that branding is not worth the investment. Just crazy, ludicrous, dumb, attention-seeking, wrong attention-seeking information because they have nothing else to say. And with that, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about. Good little training for 40 minutes, I think. We'll be back next week. If I have some questions, you can drop some questions in there. Anything you want to ask me, we can chat about it. Otherwise, next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we will do another SysloSpice. Good little 45-minute little training here tonight. First one back after about a month, and we'll get back on the bandwagon and get this thing going. So if you have questions, put them in chat. Instagram. Thanks, guys, for watching. You can actually go over to SysloSpiceRecipe.com and subscribe for free and catch all the old stuff. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, I got a bunch of stuff on there that you could look at and watch with and get all the data that you need about marketing. All right. So with that being said, if nobody has any questions, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.